Hey, welcome back to the Guitar Porch, and this episode brings us into the great state of Ohio, and I want to introduce you to one of my best friends, and known this guy for a long time, and this is Mr. Gary Smith. He's invited us into his home and to see some guitars in his collection, and I'm really excited about these episodes that we got to come here today. We've been trying to plan this out for a long time, and finally got here, and we played a festival nearby, the Industrial Strength Bluegrass Festival, and we made time to stop by Gary's place, and he was gracious enough to invite us into his house and show us his collection. And we're going to start off kind of introduce you how we met, and we've got two common things that we're passionate about, and that's old vintage instruments and Studebakers. And Gary, a long time ago when I was putting together my solo album Studebaker, I knew Gary had some Studebakers. He had a Bonnie and a couple other Studebakers, but he was involved with the Studebaker Club, and I asked Gary if he could help me find a Studebaker truck for my photo shoot for Studebaker, and so he helped me out a bunch. He compiled a list from the Studebaker Owners Club, and he gave me a list of people that owned a Studebaker, about a 1950s truck, and so I went down the list, and I think it might have been maybe the first or second name on that list was the McGee family, and he put me in touch with them, and I talked to Mr. McGee, and he said, hey, my son has just painted his trucks, and said that might be the one that you're looking for, and it was John McGee, and he put me in touch with them, and that's the truck that was on the front of the album and inside the insert and everything. But it's because of this guy right here that he did all the hard work for me, and we found that truck, which was key part, I think, in the album and all the artwork. I was ecstatic to use that truck. Been friends with John McGee a long time too after that, and built friendships with that family, but Gary, every time we get together at these festivals, we talk about old instruments, and he was always buying up. He's like me. He likes the Martins and Gibsons and stuff, but he's like me. He kind of likes the off-center stuff, the oddball stuff. And one of the first guitars it's been a long time ago when we visited last, but one of the first guitars that he had that I never had a chance to play was a Nick Lucas Gibson, and it was this one right here, and he had this one in his collection. I was blown away by this guitar. I'd always seen these in books and magazines, and just never ran up on one to play, and this little guitar just blew me away. And since then, I think you've collected, Gary told me, 5? He's collected 5, which is pretty amazing, because I've never run into one. After I played Gary's for the first time, I just never, it's kind of one of those rare things, you especially for the Gibson. I mean, you run into the J35s, the 45s, and Southern Jumbos, and kind of in our world, the jumbo guitars, and every once in a while L00. But the Nick Lucas is kind of I think they're kind of rare. I mean, as far as the world that I live in,
Well, I've heard estimates that there were, between 1926 and 1937, there were 200 to 250 made.
Oh, wow.
So that, one estimate was 200, the other estimate was 250.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Nick Lucas and the guy behind the guitar. What do you know about Nick?
Well, he was a crooner, and he played. In today's world, we wouldn't consider it, that fancy, but back in the 20s, what he played lead, they considered very impressive. So he was known as a, guitarist that played lead.
Oh, okay.
And his big hit, which is kind of humorous, is Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Oh, wow.
And there's videos on YouTube of Tiny Tim on Johnny Carson, and Tiny Tim invited Nick Lucas as a older man to come on Johnny Carson and play. I don't remember if he did Tiptoe Through the Tulips or his other hit.
Yeah.
But he had a career of decades from the 20s all the way up to, that was probably in the 60s, early 70s that he was on Johnny Carson.
Wow. One of the neat things I think about these guitars is the depth. It's a smaller body guitar, but we've got the full depth of what you might see in like a jumbo, I guess. I haven't measured the sides, but man, they are the full depth. And I think that.
And they don't taper. If you notice, they taper virtually hardly any at all. It's
right.
What it is here is almost what it is here.
Yeah, and that's so unique. In a smaller guitar, I think.
And the claim was that the top is arched, slightly arched. Now, I don't know if they did that through, gluing under tension or how they did that. That guitar has been in that condition since I got it in 1989, and it looks like it's ready to fly apart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You got the big dip in front of the bridge, you got a bulge behind the bridge, but it hasn't changed in all those years since 1989 when I got it.
Wow. And the one thing that I love about this is the this inlay pattern. And I've seen this on, I guess, did they use this like on a lap steel or?
Yeah, they used it on the Roy Smeck Radio Deluxe.
Oh, okay.
They used it on F7. There's an F7 mandolin over there. And of course, I think it came though from banjos in the earlier 20s.
Oh, okay.
So a TB2 would have had this inlay.
Same inlay. Wow.
But today that inlay is called Nick Lucas.
The Nick Lucas. Yeah. Wow. Man, I love it. It's just one of those. Well, you just don't see it, Now, and it's just the way it's configured. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something appealing to me about it.
And that's the early Nick Lucases were what I call round body. I don't have an example, but the body is it's smaller, slightly smaller, and round, here. And then I just refer to this as the bell shape Nick Lucas, or some people would call this the LOO shape because LOOs were so common and they were this shape. So this is the same size, top and back, as a LOO or an L1 or an LO, but it's got the extra depth, like you said.
Yeah. So now, when you talk about it early, what years are we talking then?
I've heard of a 26. I believe
26.
I believe Stan Werbin has a 26.
Oh wow!
But that would be the first year.
Yeah.
And then, and I've not seen many others like that. Then 27, 28 I think they were still round bodies for the most part. And then around 29 they went to this shape.
Okay.
And then the first ones were mahogany like that. That's a 30. And then this is a 31 and it's rosewood. So, and my other one is a rosewood one, and it's figured rosewood. It has the, it's a slab cut rosewood versus a
quarter sawn.
Quarter sawn, yeah.
Quarter sawn, yeah.
I do want to mention that this one, someone has inlaid the pearl. That's not original, the pearl around the top. However, nowadays, the reproductions of these that Gibson has done, they have an elite model. They call it Nick Lucas Elite. And it looks just like this. It has this pearl and basically this color.
Wow.
Well, actually more of the honeyburst that's here behind me. I'll get in a second.
Wow. So this one, the I guess they. This one ever have a pick guard?
No.
You think this one?
No,
didn't have a pick guard,
they went
so.
from no pick guard in 2930. 31 had the pick guard, had the fleur de lis.
Yeah, which is beautiful. I love that inlay on there. Mm-hmm. This burst on these is beautiful too. This has got a little more, I guess, red color in that burst. A little more cherry, I guess, color. Looking at it, this one's more of a kind of a brownish.
Well, if you'll grab the one beside you, I'll hold this for a second. That's another good example of what a 30 look like.
So here's it's got the same kind of brown.
Yeah. And now that one, I believe the sides and back have been refinished on it, because they should be very dark like this, very dark.
Yeah, and that's got a little bit of lighter colored. Purfling same on the back on both of these.
They have the black, white, or white, black, white here on the fingerboard.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is unique. Got the regular shaped, real dainty neck joint right here is awesome here.
The big deal on getting a neck reset on one of these is you really have to take it to someone that's experienced, because so often that'll break.
Yeah.
So you know, if you were going to have a neck reset, you would definitely want somebody that knew what they were doing and had experience with that.
Man. So the very first one, Gary, this one here.
Yeah.
Tell us the story behind it. How did you get this one? How did this one come about?
There was a local, I'll call him a dealer. He just kind of wheeling and dealing and trading and everything. And I think he liked the trade more than he liked anything else.
Yeah.
So in 1989, I gave $800 for that guitar.
Oh, wow.
And one of my friends that was with me thought I was nuts because it looked like it had been through too many bar fights, you know?
Yeah.
So, but $800. Well, for years after that dealer would try to buy it back. Will you sell me that guitar? Will you sell me that guitar? He later had a maple Nick Lucas that I tried that I didn't like. And I never, you know, when I buy something, I tend to keep it.
Yeah.
So about 30 years later, he was there, and his son was with him. His son, who had become an adult, and his son says, "Oh, I really want to see that guitar. I've heard about it all my life." And I thought, "Oh my goodness, he's heard about it all his life." So, but I knew that it would be resold if I sold it back to him.
Yeah.
So it's been my favorite for a long time.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, we'll later on we'll demonstrate the sound on it. But yeah, and so now you had this one. You had this one for a while, and then you started collecting some more. Then tell us how you got the rosewood. How did you find it?
This one,
now the rosewoods are really rare. I mean, the mahoganies. Wouldn't you say they're more rare than the?
They definitely command a larger price, of course, but and I haven't seen too many of them. The thing is, they're 13 fret. If you notice, that one's a 12 fret. This one's a 13 fret. There's very, very few 14 fret rosewood, because by the time they went to the 14 fret, they were doing a lot of maple and some mahogany, I guess.
Yeah.
But so a lot of people think that the 13 fret is the sweet spot. I think the 12 fret is the sweet spot for them.
Yeah. Wow. Same scale. They just moved the bridge.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
You know, that's back just a little bit.
Right.
A fret back.
Man.
And then,
So getting back to the 13th fret, was that just for the rosewood, or is it just that's what they went to for a while, or are there any mahogany 13 fret, or is it?
Not that I've seen, and almost all of these, this one clearly wasn't one of them, But almost all of these 13 fret were trapeze.
Oh.
So they had just a regular movable bridge with a trapeze. And I've seen a few of them for sale, maybe, I've seen one that Gruen had and things like that hadn't been converted. But the vast majority of them have been converted to a pin bridge.
Right.
Because the trapeze just didn't do them justice.
Yeah.
And I think that, of course, they were all X-braced.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the bracing in that, it's like knife blades. It is thin and tall.
Right. And that was Gibson's thing. I mean, pretty much crossed getting on up into those like J35s. They were the same. Mm-hmm. They had tall, smaller width braces than what Martin used, and I think that's a big part of the sound.
And that era that these are from, that 29 to 31, it was like they were experimenting, and they got heavier as they went on the bracing and on the build and everything, except for things like the Kelkroyden, which, that's crazy light. That has like a 40 thousandths bridge plate. Just,
wow.
Almost it's like a business card thickness.
Right. Yeah. Man. Such unique guitars. Man, I love them.
Now, so then around 31, 32, you have the Rosewood, and then starting sometime after that up through 37, you have the Maples. And the Maple would be a nice curly type maple. Mm-hmm. But of course, it gives them a different sound, and the 14 fret gives them a different sound.
Wow. Where do you find most of these? I know you're always looking, but are you just that lucky, Gary?
Yeah, well, in 89, I started looking.
Yeah.
After I got that, and I was biased. I'll admit it. I grew up in Bluegrass. That's all I ever listened to. So it was Martins, right?
Right.
It was just Martins. The first good guitar I had was a 48 D28.
Yeah.
And then I ran across that, and I was like, wow, maybe this is a fluke.
Right.
But I started looking, and so since 89, I've searched and got 5 of them.
Right.
Sometimes they're a great deal, if you hold that for a second.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this one's been completely refinished, and I don't know why. Because, as you can see, it looks like it was in really good condition.
Yeah.
And at some point they refinished it. But this one was on reverb, as I recall, and it was very inexpensive. I mean, refinish should knock 50% off.
Right.
And I've probably had this, 10, 15 years. And it was like $5,200. What that one's like.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is. And that's got a petite heel on it, too. All right. Out of all these, which one would
That's still my favorite.
Still the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I played it a long time ago, this guitar has been on my radar, because you play one and it's like, oh man, that it opened my eyes on a smaller bodied guitar, mm-hmm. that it could sound, that big, and it has a unique sound.
And the difference between it and say an L1 or L00 is the richness. An L1 or L00 will have, good volume.
Yeah. But
they just won't have the tonal quality, the richness of the deep body.
Yeah. And I guess that was probably, I guess it was Nick's name on it, so it was probably something that he wanted, I guess.
He wanted he always used one of the what I call round bodies. As a matter of fact, the last 2 Nick Lucas has made were made for him, and they were round bodies. He wanted them black and flat, so they didn't shine too much, because he didn't want, in the lights, them to be blinding the audience.
Okay.
So black and flat kind of finish on them. And I think I just saw it was either, I think it was the next to the last one made, just sold or was for sale recently. And it was Nick's guitar. They knew it by the serial number. Not, it was the very last two made went to him. And over the years, he had had a few made for him, but they were always black, and they were always the round body.
Oh, wow.
And besides saying black and flat color, he also is the one that said he wanted the depth. So that was his idea.
Yeah, that's a good move, I think. It's like I say, they definitely they have got their own sound profile. Like I say, I really appreciate you sharing this one with me and let me see this one a long time ago, because it really it made a impact on me. This guitar, just the way the neck is, it's got a super comfortable neck on it.
I found that amazing. It wasn't just the one off guitar. All five of them have that kind of neck.
Right. Yeah. So they definitely these guitars. They definitely had a player in mind when they built them, I think.
Now, the first flat top that Gibson made was do you know Philip Rowan's?
How much?
He has one of two they're flat tops, 1925, and it has these cutaways here.
Okay.
And he is researching to see if that was Gibson's attempt to lure Nick Lucas to them, because two prototypes in 25, and then they start making these in 26 for Nick Lucas's name. The first artist endorsed name going on a guitar. This was before Royce Smeck and any of the others.
Wow. He kind of inspired some other builders that kind of had a similar model, because I have a Wahoo branded guitar that's got pretty much the same body, and the depth is pretty much the same. I'm pretty sure mine's made out of birch. It's not mahogany or anything like that, but it's kind of a birch or a maple. I have one of those, and it's maple, and it sounds very good. It's X-braced, but almost all of them were square neck. That's the way mine is. 12 fret, but they did a good job of they did a good job trying to get this look. It's I think mine's a little bit more red color, but it has this gold kind of embellishment, kind of a pinstripe, kind of a motif here on the top that kind of sets it off. But they kind of inspired some other companies at that time to copy this. It had to be a pretty popular guitar at the time, for them to do that with that impact. Original pricing was $125 for a Nick Lucas. Wow. So if you compare that to what Martin's in this was starting out in the 26 frame. Yeah.
So still by 30, but soon after, during the Depression, they had to lower the price to $90. $90, so they went from 125 to 90. Mm-hmm. Wow. That was the deluxe guitar for the pricing on those days, Well, the only thing that was the Gibson's most expensive flat top. The only thing higher than that would have been an L5. Oh, wow. And an L5 would be, 250, so double that, but, so. Wow. That one has original tuners on it too. Okay. And they're engraved. Okay. You see? All right, let's talk about that. Okay. There's reproductions of these tuners, but these still work fine for me. These are engraved tuners. I don't know if they're Waverly or what, but they're a little fancier than what you'll get on an L1 or an L2. Yeah. L2 has the same thing on it. I'm sorry. An L1 and an LOO would have less fancy tuners.
Yeah, those are nice. They got a nice little, looks like a leaf pattern on the back there.
And, you know, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Maybe you can take pictures later of the labels, but the labels are have Nick Lucas's picture holding one of the,
he's holding
one of the round bodies. One of his.
How about that? Kalamazoo, Michigan, Nick Lucas Gibson Special. It's got Nick there. He's all dressed up.
One more to say about this is look at the side of this guitar. The mahogany is shrunk, and you can actually see the lining through the outside. See that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can see it dips. The side actually dips in because the lining is holding the edges out, and it gets little cracks and things. But it is so thin that you can press on it and flex the side of the guitar.
Yeah, it's super lightweight. Yeah, it doesn't hardly weigh anything. They've got him trimmed down here pretty good. But that label is, man, I'll try to get a good picture of this label so you guys can see it. It's pretty cool. Well, Gary, thank you. And we're going to see what this one sounds like, and we'll do a little playing demonstration.
All right.